Number one Ibble Dibble here. Hello, friends, and welcome to With Ranker, Megan, episode 2, wherein I rank all the outfits in Megan's cooking show on a tier list. So, last time, no one did the big one, sad to say. Let's see how the fashion in episode 2 goes. Could we be talking about things more vital today, like Harry and Meg's back-to-back cray-cray interviews? Yes, but I didn't feel like it. On my channel, I just talk about what I feel like. We'll get to that. So the first outfit we see is her gardening getup. She wears white jeans under a distressed denim tunic or dress and green apron. Everything has a kind of stonewashed look that's very attractive, but also I don't know. She's been living there 4 or 5 years now and has 2 very small children, yet there's not a single berry stain on her apron? I understand she doesn't want to look a mess on TV, but the 1,000 never worn color coordinated aprons she wears in this show are an odd choice, in my opinion. Aprons that have clearly been used hold more authority, and she needs authority. Also, those of us that do have multiple aprons get them in a more, shall we say, authentic and organic way. There's the one we bought for cooking, the one we bought for gardening, the vintage ruffly or lacy one we got from a girlfriend as a gift, the messy hand-painted one we got from kids as a gift, the one with unrelated patch pockets because our gardening shears somehow wore through the bottom seam of the original pocket, the one with some random best ever joke or tacky airbrushed graphic from a Secret Santa a decade ago, etc. Wearing something like this would have made Megan more relatable, a sorely missed opportunity. Now, a lot of people are asking how she can garden in white jeans. It honestly doesn't bother me much. I have a complex where I have every stain busting product in the universe, everyone I come across. And I sort of enjoy trying to match them to the fabric and then use them in the correct order. White jeans are kind of a dream. Very white and very durable. I personally would get a certain satisfaction seeing the results. Hitting it with enzyme based, then hydrogen peroxide, then oxygen based, something oleophilic perhaps, the classic detergent, the spot bleach, the optical brightener, the bluing. I have it all, I'm into it. The green clogs are classic. Yeah, fake as fake can be. I don't think she actually gardens much, but I'm putting this into woke it up. Next, we have her balloon arching look. An old blue linen shirt from J. Crew with what looks like navy or black trousers that are not shown at all. This is not bad, not good, definition basic. It looks like it might be a bit tight in the upper arms and shoulders. Because of the fit and how boring it is, this goes into room for magic. Next, we have the outfit I've probably thought the most about, Mindy's favorite look. The marinière sweater cape over an incredibly beautiful tricot shell with flowing white trousers. First, the good. People say Megan can't learn, but perhaps you've noticed she's wearing cool-toned, perfectly matched beiges in this show. Shades that work with the undertone of her skin, not clashing camel catastrophes she tries to bronze up to. We know she tries to do everything herself. I doubt she even ran these outfits by a stylist. So clearly, she watched all the fashion videos about her, decided to try out this advice, and doesn't it look so much better on her skin? She's still abusing bronzer. I think the show is color corrected to try to help her out a bit. And of course, she's since relapsed into orange spray tan and questionable neutrals. But in this show, at least, she mostly, there are some exceptions, but she mostly got this right. The fit is also correct. Of course, I can't imagine doubling up on cashmere in a sun-drenched California kitchen is comfortable, but knits are great for Megan in that they slip over and mask her awkward proportions, as long as they aren't too tight. Megan went through a phase, I don't know if she does it anymore, where she wore skin-tight cashmere sweaters. That did not work for her, but she doesn't in this show. This shell is the right degree of roomy to read as casual, not clownish, and the perfect weave for her preferred thick waist camouflaging tuck. Incidentally, I think it may have been inspired by this Faye Dunaway costume from Bonnie and Clyde, which itself was chosen because these sweaters were incredibly popular in the 30s through the 50s. At that time, most women could knit pretty well, and they bought themselves knitting patterns for quote unquote lace or lace stitch blouses. The striped sweater is oversized and looks a bit dated on its own, a very late aughts silhouette, but worn as a sweater cape, the extra long body of the sweater masks her thick waist when seen from behind, which a standard length pullover would not, and the extra long sleeves mask it at the front sides. You'll notice she doesn't knot the sleeves over her chest, even though that would make much more sense for cooking over a stove or slicing over a counter. The trousers also look as good as it gets, yuck, 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 on Meghan. The wide but not exaggeratedly so waistband visually pulls her waist down without adding width, exactly what she needs. Further, it's hard to tell because we only see for a moment, really, just a couple seconds, but it looks like the trousers are a reasonable length, not pooling on the floor and underfoot as is her wont. Likewise, her shoes are shown so briefly, hard to tell, but they don't totally ruin the outfit. Color-wise, the suede seems like an okay color. That said, I hate the shoes. I mentioned in the last video, locks that don't lock anything are a no for me. And these are even worse because they're logo locks, and they're even worse because they're Loro Piana logo locks. No one knows what the Loro Piana logo is. What? You can't even pass it off as camp. Also, the silver tone hardware clashes with her gold tone earrings in both color and design style. And speaking of the earrings, I hate them too. Aesthetically, they're fine. Modernist, minimalist, sculptural, organic. They're sort of refined. I might have genuinely liked them if I hadn't immediately clocked them as Elsa Peretti full heart clip earring knockoffs. And if you Tiffany fans are thinking, wait a minute, that isn't full heart. Yes, it is. This is the original 1980 version. In the mid 90s, Tiffany standardized and prettified Elsa's original designs into what they sell today. I have two theories on these earrings. Number one, she is trying to be relatable by wearing fast fashion. She doesn't want to wear $5,000 earrings when she's already wearing $1,000 shoes and $2,000 of cashmere. Or I should say, she wouldn't mind wearing $5,000 earrings, but she wants to give her little sugars something they can afford to buy. So they mention, backlink, backlink, backlink. My other theory, and let me know in the comments which theory you think is correct, or if you have an alternate theory that you believe, I'm very curious, is that she just doesn't know the reference. She's trying to look like the New York socialites, but doesn't know what they're wearing. Tiffany was not really a national or global thing until Meghan was well into university. And by that point, those silver Elle Woods charm bracelets and necklaces were their bread and butter, not the Studio 54 Halston Liza Elsa stuff. Meghan's already wearing her $60,000 stack of Cartier and whatever, and equally expensive blood diamond pinky ring. So what's another 5,000? Even if she didn't know, I still think she made the wrong decision. I don't believe in supporting fast fashion. I think there's no excuse for someone as wealthy as Meghan to wear fast fashion. I don't think she should be promoting Mango and Zara. I know it's cheap and cute, but it's manufactured in dangerous sweatshops and likely contains poisonous levels of cadmium. Also, unlike Aldo Ciapullo's love bracelet, the trademark for which was purchased outright by Cartier, Elsa Peretti never sold her trademarks to Tiffany. Her intellectual property is managed by a charitable foundation she named after her father. She never married or had children, and when she died in 2021, 100% of her estate went to charity. In total, Peretti gave 42 million euros before she died side, and $48 million plus all future profits of her real estate and intellectual property, her jewelry designs, licensed by Tiffany in perpetuity. The Nando and Elsa Peretti Foundation's mission statement is to support, quote, the promotion of human and civil rights with a special emphasis on the right to education, children's rights, and women's rights and dignity, end quote. They solicit international proposals on behalf of unrepresented minorities, with particular interest in defending their right to exist and preserve their culture. They also support medical and scientific research, build hospitals. They've given over 5 million euros to emergency relief alone, and have certainly never been accused of disaster tourism. All of that is supposedly right up Meghan's alley, and she has no problem name dropping. Do you think she name drops Laura Piana, Zara, Jenny Kane because she is a down low ambassador for them? And would never name drop the designer, even if all proceeds go to charity, if the charity is not her own? Or am I way overthinking this? Let me know in the comments. The final thing I want to say about this outfit is that it is so very masculine. I'm not passing a value judgment on that. I love tailoring and androgyny and sportswear. It's just not for beginners unless you're doing pretty basic 80s, 90s unisex preppy. There seems to be an inverse relationship between how feminine a garment is and how much the wearer affects the outcome. In something ultra feminine, a classic Dolce & Gabbana dress, for example, everyone kinda looks the same. Older or younger, fatter or thinner, taller or shorter, whatever curves or lack thereof you have, they will be squeezed into and popped out of that dress in the same places, and there's no confusion about what you're trying to achieve. Masculine clothes are far more revealing of the woman underneath, looks and personality, and therefore a lot easier to get wrong. In my opinion, I think Meghan thinks she's giving 80s CEO or old money, or at the very least, old money aesthetic Instagram influencer. But this outfit gives Brideshead Revisited, does it not? Every time she wears trousers or a suit, everyone talks about how she can't dress for her body. The trousers drag on the ground. Her tailor is terrible. She doesn't have a waist. But the elephant in the closet, room, is that over the years, she has been dressing increasingly butch, and it's gotten to breaking point. And I really need to hear your theories on why. I can think of 3 reasons. 1, she still lives inside American network TV circa 1990, when lady bosses could only distinguish themselves from the secretarial pool with Armani power suits and Zoran separates. 2, she wants the world to know she wears the pants in her family and thinks everyone is dumber than her, so gets quite literal about it. 3, because her design vocabulary is a little lacking, she doesn't realize when she's gone too far. She thinks she looks like Charlotte Rampling or Lauren Hutton. We think Grandpa looks ready for his pastis. Speaking of retired people, the Jenny Kane ads shouting out Nancy Meyers movie costumes on her podcast irk me. How about you? Meghan also shouts the brand out in this episode, making me think she has an undisclosed paid brand ambassadorship, or she's invested in the company and thinks she can pump sales this way. I hate this reference. First, coastal grandma was a trend almost a decade ago. The reference is dated. If she wants to see more veneers and less dentures, she should leave it in the past. Second, the costumes themselves are not stylish and the screenwriting is trite. That's not to say the costume design is bad, it's excellent. The costumes perfectly capture the bland yet pricey looks of the slice of American society they portray. Unfortunately, that slice is the suburban bourgeoisie, so replicating their costumes projects little taste and lots of class anxiety. Third, the plots of Nancy Meyers films typically feature rich, sexless boomers with one-dimensional personalities reaching deep down inside and deciding to live, laugh, love again. Meghan is too young and diabolical for that to seem authentic to anyone, right? Boomers, let me know. Do you perceive this as a calculated appeal, given your generation is the widest audience likely to both watch a cooking show on a streaming network and buy whatever the host tells you to? Or are you genuinely feeling seen and appreciated by this? I understand that at a certain age, influencers realize they can no longer sell sex, so they start selling success. And Megan's never had style, so I'm expecting too much by expecting anything at all. Incidentally, I think some petanque grandpas and clamming grandmas have incredible style. It's just weird to see Megan attempt it. This goes into she tried it for sure. Next, we have this little photo of Mindy and Megs on the pod. I could be wrong, it's hard to see, but I believe Mindy is wearing a hot pink Valentino shirt dress. I like the Pepto pink shoe with the hot pink dress, and it's perfect for a podcast because being filmed from weird angles while sitting down is awful. I think this is the perfect choice for the setting, so I am putting it in Woke It Up. As for Megan's outfit in the same Polaroid, she often wears capri pants in situations where she will be filmed sitting down in a chair because she correctly estimates that while the rest of us suffer fat looking leg syndrome in this position, her chicken legs benefit from being visually widened. The outfit itself, however, is just nothing to write home about, and capris with a turtleneck is always incorrect in a winter palette. So this one definitely goes into Room for Magic. It's really, I feel like I need a level between Room for Magic and Nasty Yuck Mouth Bitch because a lot of these aren't truly offensive, but they're terrible. The next outfit we see is Mindy's Texas Tux. My first impression of this outfit was that Mindy had just thrown together whatever because apparently she had given birth kind of recently and was breastfeeding when this was filmed. However, a quick perusal of her Instagram when I was trying to figure out what jeans these are revealed Mindy actually just likes the Texas Tux and is still wearing them now that she's Ozempic'd herself down to the thinnest she's ever been. Vote in the comments below. Texas Tux, yay or nay? I'm not against them, but I don't think it's a look for beginners. A lot of beginners get tricked by the intrinsic casualness of double denim into thinking they can do it. They cannot. Even celebrities with stylists mess this up constantly. Of course, cut matters most by far. What you can get away with will mostly depend on your body and the cut. But color comes next. If you're not totally hipless, you should be wearing a darker shade on bottom and lighter shade on top. It was hard to find perfect side-by-sides, obviously, but I hope these examples show how just the color can change perception of the wearer's body. This is Heidi Klum, who has an indisputably perfect by Western standards body, and Leandra Medine, who is rail thin, straight up and down. I think even with the rise in styling differences, you can see how lighter shades expand and darker shades shrink. And the more extreme the color, the more extreme the effect. I like both of the denims Mindy is wearing. I wish the shades on top and bottom were reversed. I think it would flatter her better. Based on the double denim I've seen Mindy wear, she doesn't know this yet or doesn't get it. I'd love to see Mindy try this method and see if she likes it. Now, one thing you may not know about Mindy that this outfit announces is that she is a total label whore, which is kind of fun. She wears extreme logos, clashing logos, has multiple stylists, really loud style. She's clearly enjoying it, and I love to see it. Her Instagram bio just reads new money, which makes me laugh, as did this shot she took of herself the day she filmed this mess with Megan. Quote, I went to Santa Barbara for a day and it became my entire personality, exclamation point, end quote. Ooh, what a dig. So this outfit is a perfectly performative disaster. I think Mindy genuinely likes it, but also is kind of mocking Megan. So let's work from bottom to top because there's a lot here. The shoes are some sort of ugly Ferragamo raffia Gancini heeled mules, which only someone who only buys designer would ever buy. They're not attractive or versatile, they just are. And were probably bought to match something specific, and she's now trying to force them into other outfits. Yeah. The bag is obviously a Birkin. It's definitely real. Mindy is one of those celebrity Birkin hoarders who got one as soon as she got some money, and she's been hoarding them ever since she looked like this. So many, many moons ago. I'm no expert, so if you are, please correct me. To me, this looks like a 30 centimeter Ray Tournay. Just kidding. Coton with contrast stitching in gold hardware on gold leather. But the color might be cigar or fauve. I can't find a picture good enough to determine what kind of leather this is, and the colors do look different in different leathers, especially considering photos have all different lighting and are often color graded or left uncorrected, etc. My best guess is gold Swift. I think celebrities tend to favor the Birkin slouch you get with this style of stitching, but to me, it clashes with the contrast stitching. Contrast stitching is a natural match with Celliers sewing. And in my opinion, if you're already there, go old school, get Berenia or one of the Vache options. I realize for non-fashion people, I sound like I'm speaking a different language, but I think even if you don't know anything about these bags, you can see this version of the bag, in my opinion, is a more perfect version of Mindy's bag. Just for reference, this is a limited edition, but you could get it on special order. Vache Naturelle Crâne Leather Cellier Birkin 30 with contrast stitching and gold hardware from 2019. And if you're curious about how much these things go for, oh my. I believe Hermes sold this bag for 15 or 16,000 euros, and it was flipped by a reseller in less than 18 months at Christie's for 27,500 pounds. Plus 20% VAT and 26% buyer's premium. But when money is no object, there's no accounting for taste. Right. And money isn't an object for Mindy, and after a decade of trial and error, she may have reached this conclusion herself just after filming this, because look at what's in the background over here. Anyway, this is a basic bitch holy grail, and I think Mindy was paying homage to the Duchess of BB's, choosing this particular model to wear to Meghan's. I also think Mindy's pretty brave. Meg seems like the type to accidentally spill her drink all over a bag, doesn't she? In addition to being one of those rainbow of Birkins types, Mindy really tacks them up. This might be the ugliest Twilly in the universe, but that's just a guess. It might be 2 Twillies, it might be 3, but it gets uglier. I think the Valentino belt is my least favorite element of this outfit. Everything is wrong with it. It's way too narrow for the belt loops. It's clearly meant to be worn over a dress or perhaps an elegant coat. She's also wearing a Valentino shirt, but the logo V's are different. That's annoying. And the tan color clashes with the Birkin tan color and the Ferragamo shoe. Too many logos, too many tans. She really would have done better wearing one of those braided leather belts Prince William favors. I'm always amazed at how many people wear designer logo belts, and I have a philosophy on these I will bore you with now. In my opinion, the only acceptable reasons to wear a designer logo belt are as follows. 1, you're an under 30 yuppie wearing it to show your boss you're a hungry hard worker who wants to advance. 2, you're not a fashion person and clearly received it as a gift from a loved one who is a fashion person or a fashion victim and often wear it with your own random clothes to charmingly discordant effect. Think head-to-toe Volcom with a Constance belt. 3, camp is the look. If you want to do Chanel on Chanel on Chanel on Chanel on Chanel, okay. 4, it's a unique vintage piece. You never really see anyone with big Corrège or Lanvin buckles anymore. It's fun to see them. The jeans I don't recognize, but a quick trip to Net-a-Porter will show you this is the most popular wearable cut at the moment. I do like the wash. The shirt is okay. Where Mindy really made me laugh was bringing the yellow gold bling to cook at Meghan's. She heard she was invited to Montecito for light cooking and gardening and immediately knew that meant giving the tackiest hostess in the world a run for her money in head-to-toe designer and a minimum of $100,000 of yellow gold. Mindy's sporting a 117,000 US dollar parure. The design was pushed really hard and all the celebrities have it. It's called hardware. At first I really didn't like it, but I think it's grown on me. Do you like this? Let me know in the comments. Plus the all gold large Cartier Ballon Bleu watch, currently retailing for $32,100. So just under $149,000 in gold on Mindy right now. She also brought all the hair. This is Mindy's real hair. Mindy wears wigs. Everyone in Hollywood does, including Meghan. And this is Mindy's favorite day-to-day natural look wig. If I were Mindy, I would have mocked Meghan to her face by getting one of these made. Missed opportunity. And her face is done. Mindy's gotten a lot of cosmetic surgery over the years, but that aside, she has fully new cheekbones in this episode with Meghan. She got pumped and frozen for this. It's all so tacky, I can't in good conscience put it in doing the big one, even though I think one-upping Meghan probably felt that way for Mindy. And I can't fairly put it in room for magic because Mindy didn't leave room for anything. The eye does not and cannot travel on Mindy today. Nasty yuck mouth bitch seems unfair because I do like this in a way. I love how hard she's going just to annoy Meghan. So I am changing one of these categories. Ooh, excitement. I'm going to change nasty yuck mouth bitch to right? Representing the voodoo of Delulu. Next, we get a Polaroid of Meghan in her yellow muumuu discussing her heritage and legacy of balloon arch design and construction. I've already discussed this outfit because she wore it in Nigeria. Link in the description box if you haven't seen that rank video yet. For this video, we'll put it in room for magic. Then we quickly get a shot of a camo bucket-hatted producer in a green quilted jacket. I don't know how old this woman is, but if you were around for Y2K, you're not allowed to wear a bucket hat again for the Y2K trend revival. The jacket isn't anything nice. I'm guessing Uniqlo, but I don't have any idea. It's not Barber or Barretto or anything. If I were shooting Meghan's show, I would refuse rights to my likeness. I can't imagine what motivated these people. The greens clash, I hate it, right? Okay, finally, we got a good one. This might be my favorite outfit in the entire series. Meghan's wearing two tough shades of green that look perfect together and good on her. I think this satin skirt is the only garment I've ever seen her wear that flatters her ass. A veritable wardrobe miracle. In the close-up, you can see the quality of the textiles is really nice. And it reminds me of the mid-aughts, I think Philip Lim cashmere sweaters at Barney's. I think a little tweak that would make this perfect would be stretching out that waistband a bit. It would look better if it sat 2 or 3 inches lower, but doesn't look bad now. Is a satin skirt and thick sweater a reasonable outfit to cook in? Of course not. But as usual, she's not cooking so much as arranging, just slicing and arranging her rainbow of fruit, so I guess it's fine. Congrats, Meg, you finally did your big one. Actually, I'm going to change doing the big one to my truth. I understand many of you will think I'm being too generous to her here, but it's my truth, and there can't be forgiveness without truth, right? And while I'm at it, I'm going to change woke it up to legal victory. Because these aren't triumphs, are they? A fashion win for Meghan and friends is the rest of us on any rushed Tuesday. The final looks of the evening are Mindy and Meg's dinner at the club circa 1955 dresses. They seem to be twinning in nude patent leather Aquazura pumps. I do like these shoes. First, let's look at Mindy's outfit. Interestingly, she took off all the gold and is sporting just 2 giant diamond rings she wore at the Met Gala. For Mindy, this is showing restraint. To illustrate, these are the diamonds she wore to the US Open, so a tennis match at 11 a.m. Maybe after day 1 of shooting, she realized flexing on the pores with a reviled, exiled princess might not be the best look. She's at least ethical about her bling. She buys most of it from Shukra Jewels, owned and designed by this nice lady with a jewelry design degree from FIT. I don't know enough about the industry to know if it's really possible, but she claims to use only ethically sourced materials like conflict-free diamonds and sustainably mined metals. So I guess it's at least better than the companies who don't try. I like the dress a lot, especially the bows at the back, which I think might have been a sort of cute reference to 18th century sackbacks. I think the cut flatters Mindy, and I think with a girdle, as my grandmother would have called it, and or a petticoat, this silhouette works for most women. Dresses like this are also the easiest outfits in the world because you don't have to coordinate anything. You don't need to know what you're doing at all. The dress is the outfit by itself. It's pretty difficult to mess up. Even with combat boots or a big tweed jacket, it's a look. If you like this dress specifically is by Zimmerman, certain sizes are still available on sale if you look online. This is my truth for sure. Meghan's dress is by LEEEWWKSZ and features a pretty age of sale print. I think cool toned icy pastels look great on Meghan and she should wear them more. The dress fits and I think she looks good in this sleeveless stand collar style. This goes into my truth as well. And that's that for episode 2. This one was truly a crustless, star-shaped sandwich for the senses. Let me know in the comments below, how did you like the outfits in this episode? And who do you think has better style, Mindy or Meghan? Toodles! Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.